あんた叩き売りの司会を引き受けてくれたんね。
How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael S.K., and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 7. In the last episode, we took a little bit of a turn here, and I guess Keiichi isn't the only one that's been having these dreams and thoughts of events that haven't occurred, but could have occurred, or may have occurred, but they didn't. And it's actually changing the actions that they are committing in this world. It's very interesting. So Keiichi might not be the only special one here, but as it was talked about in the beginning of this chapter, he is definitely our protagonist, and he is the one that moves things forward, in a way. And now I guess we're focusing back here on the auction.
もうみんながあんたしか適任がいないんって太鼓判押すんよ。だからおばさん、前原くんの司会が楽しみで楽しみで。
あ、いやせいぜい頑張りますので、あまり期待しないでくれると嬉しいです。
そんなこと言っちゃって。今日ここに来たのも売り物を吟味して売り文句を考えておきたいからなんですよ。当日は期待しましょう。
したら叩き売りはちゃんと来ないかんね。
The other ladies smiled and told me that they were looking forward to it. It hadn't been that long since I moved to this village, but even these people offered me a position of huge responsibility during the festival. So you could say that they've accepted me as a member of this village. I caused so much trouble where I lived before that I couldn't even go outside. But they're accepting me as a member of this village? I was so happy. I felt bad that I still hadn't learned all of their names, but I was going to do my best to entertain the villagers who were supporting me.
ミオンちゃんはどうする？まだ残るんかいね。
ああ、いや、もう私たちも帰ります。もういいよね、ケイちゃん。
まあ、雰囲気さえつかめりゃ、あとは出たとこ勝負だ。なるようになるだろう。
綿流しには興味ないんだけど、ケイちゃんの司会は見たいな。私も来ようかな。
シオンさんもぜひいらっしゃいませ。みんなで一緒に騒ぐのは楽しいですわよ。
私は反対。シオンは沖宮に住んでるんだから、沖宮の祭りにでも行っちゃえ。
シーちゃんが来るとミーちゃんが面白くなる。
Didn't mean to skip you there, Rena.
では多数決により C の参加は決定なのですよ。
というわけです、お姉。当日は私のせいでお姉の地味っぷりが露呈しちゃうかもしれませんけど、まあ仲良くしてくださいね。
Well, maybe with Shion actually being invited, it would prevent her from any sort of misfit-like actions, you know, sort of involving her going into a place that she's not supposed to go.
シオン嫌い、ジオン嫌い、ジオン嫌い。
Whatever Mion says, I know that they're actually close. The more Mion tried to refuse her, the more obvious it was, the more it was obvious how close they really were. Excuse me.
じゃあでよ。忘れ物とかない？明かり消すよ。
We made sure that we didn't leave anything inside and left the room. I looked around the shrine grounds while Mion locked the door. This big place will be filled with people on the day of Watanagashi.
このだだっ広い境内がお祭り一色になるんだよな。なんだか全然想像がつかないぜ。すっげえ楽しみだ。
模擬店とかがいっぱい並んで人もものすごいたくさん来るんだよ。きっとケイイチくんもびっくりするかな年に一度なんてケチなことを言わず季節のたびにやってくれてもいいんですのにね。
そういや、季節のたびに来る人はいたね。はい、そんな人いましたっけ？
あ、それは俺もわかるぞ。この間会ったカメラマン風の人だろ。名前はなんて言ったっけ？
ケイイチは富武を知っていますのですか？
そうそう、富武さんだったな。いや、先日の帰り道で会ってさ、 ミオンとレナに教えてもらっただけだよ。妙にたくましい体つきの割に腰の低い感じのおっさん。季節のたびにひなみ沢に来てる熱心な旅行写真家なんだろ。
自称でございますけどね。
あの人が来ると今年ももう綿流しだなって気がするよ。それで綿流しが終わると本格的に夏が始まるんだよね。
そうだね。でも今年は暑くなるのが早いからもうセミが鳴いてるけどね。異常気象とかテレビで言ってますわね。温暖化がどうしたこうしたとよく聞きますわ。
Oh, I wonder what that is.
暑い夏、大いに結構じゃねえか。夏が涼しかったらなんだかつまらないぞ。
そうですね。季節通りの気候の方が気分がいいもんです。冷夏や暖冬はなんだか損した気になります。夏に負けないくらいこの夏の私たちも熱くいこう。綿流し祭何人だ。綿流し祭六強爆闘だね。
今年の綿流しもみんなで一緒に楽しく過ごせますですよ。そうだね。楽しく過ごせるといいね。
お、レナは知らねえな。リカちゃんのは希望的憶測じゃねえんだぜ。本当の予言なんだぜ。だからリカちゃんが当日は楽しくなるって言ったら絶対にそうなる。だってこれは運命なんだからな。そうだろリカちゃん。
はい、運命なのですよ。
Rika-chan smiled with a nipa. Her smile assured me that the day of Watanagashi was going to be a great one for us.
当日さ、すぐにオークションってわけじゃねえんだろ。
始まるのは奉納演舞の一つ前だから、夕方からならみんなで一緒に遊ぶ時間は十分にあるよ。
そうですわよね。初めてのお祭りなのに一緒に遊べないなんて気の毒ですもの。
ケイちゃんの叩き売りを楽しんだ後はリカちゃまの奉納演舞ですか。なかなかいいじゃないですか。
ということは僕は圭一の司会を最後まで見られず、途中で演舞の準備に行かなくてはならないのです。
へえ、リカちゃんも出番があるのか。演舞ってなんだ。やっぱり古出神社の巫女さんだから何か神事でもやるわけか。
綿流しの名の通り、お布団の綿を清める演舞と儀式があるの。リカちゃんがとっても頑張るから圭一くんもいっぱい応援してあげてね。それでねリカちゃんが巫女さん装束で重い細工をフラフラしながら振るうのがね、とっても可愛いんだよ。お持ち帰り。
I've never seen a real shrine maiden before. I'm sure Rika-chan really will look adorable. I was looking more and more forward to the Watanagashi festival. Rena, Mion, Shion, Sotoko, Rika-chan, and I, the six of us, will definitely have a great time there. How many more days did we have? I'd never been this excited about a festival in my life. I'm just worried for it. A festival here is usually our big turning point. Alright. Yeah, whenever the Watanagashi happens, that's when shit really hits the fan. So, not really, looking forward to it, because that's when everything gets a little wacky. Setoko's snoring sounded so subtle when I stood by the window. I think we're following Rika again.
さとこ
God damn. That is so loud. I could tell that she was sound asleep.
いびきが可愛いのですよ。
Hanyu laughs and tries to poke Sotoko's nose. I looked up at the sky. Nothing was different about the moon, but the moonlight seemed warmer than usual to me.
リカは機嫌がいいようなのです。確かにそうかもしれない。
I realized it only after Hanyu pointed it out. I really was in a very good mood. Otherwise, I wouldn't be enjoying the view of the sky on a humid night like this. I felt like bringing a toast to the moon. As I rooted around the back of the closet, Hanyu spoke to me, sounding noticeably upset.
リカ、お酒はダメなのですよ。いいじゃない、今夜くらい。
Hanyu doesn't like alcohol. If I drink, Hanyu will also taste it, so she always complains when I try to drink. That's why I usually drink only when Hanyu is far away from me. Of course, she'll know right away when I do, but it's too late by then.
ダメです、ダメです。リカにはワインは早いのです。リカは私よ。リカが飲みたいものはリカが決めるわ。
Got him.
ダメです。僕はワインが嫌いなのです。ダメです。ダメ、ダメ。今日は喧嘩はなしだってば。わかったわ。じゃああんたにも飲みやすいように甘いオレンジジュースで割ってあげる。
This is a very similar conversation to the one that we saw in the last chapter, I think.
それならいいでしょ。
It was in one of the tips.
ワインのあの匂いが嫌いなのです。だからダメ、ダメ。
Hanyu jumped around and complained. She was making a lot of noise right where Sudoko was sleeping.
やめなさい。さとこが起きちゃうでしょ。残念でしたなのです。僕はリカ以外には見えないし聞こえませんから、いくらトタンバタンしてもリカにしか聞こえないのです。あっかんべー。はは。あんたはたまに身の程をわきまえないわね。
I went to the refrigerator and took out a pack of orange juice and the spicy kimchi I typically use for her punishment.
はい、問題。私がおつまみに激辛キムチをいっぱい食べて羽生が辛い思いをするのと、オレンジジュースで割った甘いワインを飲んで一緒に月を楽しむのとどっちがいい？
Hanyu clenched her lips while jumping up and down, ready to burst into tears. She should be disciplined for being that noisy, but she never has been since I'm the only one who can hear her. Besides, she's like air, so I can't even give her a spanking. Hanyu loves sweets, but she really hates spicy food.
いいか、飛び跳ねるのはおやめなさいませ。
Sudoko woke up suddenly and I had to hide my glass in a hurry. Sudoko doesn't know about my drinking habit.
今何時だと思ってるんですの。
She fell asleep again after speaking.
ほら、あんたのドタンバタンがうるさいって注意されたわよ。
So I have a theory. You know how multiple characters here, such as Keiichi and Rena, and even Satoshi, have talked about hearing the footsteps of Oyashiro-sama or whatever? What if that's just Hanyu? What if that's just Hanyu following them around, seeing what they're up to?
この安眠妨害。
Just like I'm the only one who can see her, I'm usually the only person who can hear the noise she makes. However, that's not the case all the time. Hanyu doesn't exist in this world. Sometimes people can actually hear and feel her existence. It doesn't happen too often, and most people think that they just heard some random noise. Based on my experience, people who are in a critical condition like Sudoko tend to hear her more often. When I say critical condition, I mean who have reached the L4 stage, as Irie would describe it. At that stage, there's nothing that can be done anymore. They will feel the existence and hear the noise of someone that they can't see, and that would really mess with their mind. Hanyu stopped jumping up and down and gave up as I started pouring alcohol into my glass. Damn, I can't read. I was drinking because I wanted to be mean to Hanyu, or I wasn't drinking. In order to do that, in fact, I always wished that she would enjoy it too. I poured only a little bit of wine inside the glass and diluted it with plenty of orange juice. In fact, this cocktail is pretty much just juice. I also put some crushed ice inside the glass. With that, it looked like a real cocktail that they serve at the bar.
ほら、羽生、 これくらいの薄さなら平気でしょ。
I licked the edge of the glass to see how she'd react.
このくらいなら平気なのです。そう。じゃあ今夜はこの濃さにするわ。もう怖がらないで。辛いのはしまうわ。
Hanyu has been scared of that kimchi punishment for a while. As I put it back inside the refrigerator, she seemed relieved. I took the glass and headed back to the window. There was no breeze, but it seemed a little bit cooler.
ねえ、羽生、あなたも今回は何かが違うって感じてる？圭一やレナの話ですか？それから多分みんな過去の世界をごくわずかだけど記憶してる。そしてそれを生かして致命的な失敗を避けている。個々にはそう珍しいことではないと思いますです。でも圭一やレナ、シオンなどみんながみんな同時にそうなることは僕もとても珍しいことだと思いますのです。私はよく自分の運命をすごろくに例えるんだけど、これは3つ振ったサイコロがみんな6だったような、そういう幸運じゃないかと思うの。僕たちの望む未来に最も近い位置からのスタートという意味では、リカのその例えは正しいと思いますのです。でもこれはリカが期待するような意味の奇跡ではありませんですよ。
I knew what she was trying to say. She was telling me not to expect too much. The die is designed to have 6 sides. It's not a miracle if I roll it and get a 6. A true miracle is when I roll it once, but get a 10, just like what happened with Keiichi in my previous life. In other words, a miracle is something that would normally never happen. Keiichi gave the doll to Mio. Rena spoke with her father, and Shion started taking care of Sodako after remembering her promise to Satoshi. That was all because they had those intentions somewhere in their hearts. It was only a side of their die that was engraved there already. But still, even if you couldn't call 3 dice rolling this well a miracle, it did mean good fortune.
リカが頑張ろうという強い意志を見せたので、天の神様が祝福しているのに違いないのです。あんたも神様じゃなかったの？リカは僕をいじめるときだけ神様扱いしますです。冗談よ。そんなわけだから今夜はとても機嫌がいいのよ。
I lifted up the glass of orange wine and gave a toast to the moon. That is not orange by any means, by the way. It tasted like nothing but sweet orange juice. It was funny to see Hanyu making a funny or a happy face as I took a sip.
今度こそ昭和58年の死の運命から逃れられるのでしょうか。逃れることがゴールのすごろくなのだとしたら、これほど幸先のいいスタートはもう二度とないかもしれない。
No matter how hard I tried to prevent things from happening, there were some things I could never control. It's such a huge letdown when that happens. Even after trying so hard, something renders my efforts infertile. That's how you pronounce that, right? I'd probably been wasting my time for so long because I was trying to escape from that pain. For the first time in my life, then, I've been blessed with a favorable situation. Everything seems perfect in this world. There's no reason for me to be depressed. It's like the weather is perfect and the wind is blowing in just the right way. If I failed to put my ship out to sea, there was nothing to pin the blame on. I understood what Hanyu was trying to say with the concerned look on her face. If I didn't escape my death under this fortunate situation, I'd have to accept that my fate wasn't something that could be changed. This is an ideal world where all of my friends overcame their problems. I was always in a depressing world, but this time all the pieces of the puzzle matched. If I couldn't change my fate in this world, then it was proof that I couldn't change it in any world. That was the ending that I'd been afraid of for a long time. The loss of hope and the death of my soul. Of the pair of us, I was probably the only one who would die. Hanyu will most likely remain there even if my spirit disappears. She must be afraid of being alone after I lose myself. That's why she's telling me not to expect too much. I bit down on an ice chip inside my mouth. It was pleasantly cold.
羽生、何度も繰り返した話で申し訳ないんだけど、また付き合ってほしいの。いいのですよ。どうしてリカが必ず昭和58年に殺されるかですね。うん、強い意志は強い運命を生み出すということは、私が昭和58年に必ず殺されるのは相当の。おそらくそうだと思いますです。フルでリカを殺して誰がどんな得をするのかしら。強い意志があるのですから、おそらくは明白な動機があるものと思いますです。自分で言うのも嫌だけど、フルでリカは村人みんなに好かれていると思う。一般的な村人に殺害動機があるとは思えない。
Yeah, but there's gotta be like, I don't know, there's something going on that we're still totally in the dark about. And it's gotta do with Dr. Irie. And I feel like the doctors there and some others maybe have some sort of connections. They're involved in something. I really believe that epilogue tip that we got in chapter 6 is literally telling us, hey, someone or a group of people are orchestrating things to end this summer, no matter what, taking everybody with them, you know? I don't know, but I feel like we're getting really close to an answer here.
少なくともこの村に住まう人間である以上、リカに好意を抱かない人間はいないはずなのです。あんたのおかげでね。今のは感謝の言葉よ。まあいいわ。長いこと疑ってきた園崎本家も違った。
No, they're just stupid, but also brilliant in a way.
となると、私を殺したい人間や。むしろリカにとっては世界中のどこよりもこの村にいるのが安全なはずなのです。そうね、世界中のどこよりも私を殺そうとする人間がいるどころか、私を守ろうという人間がいるはずなのに。
It's ironic. For a long time, I've been refusing help from all those people who were trying to keep me safe.
リカ、やはり入江たちを頼るのはどうですか？
People in this village love and cherish me, but no matter what, they never saved me when I tried to escape the fate of my death. I spoke to several villagers in the past, but they never believed me and none of them saved me in the end. They probably didn't believe me because I had no idea who was trying to kill me, or what their motive was. If I could explain that, people might be more accepting of my story, but there's nothing I can do about that. No one would believe a little girl saying that she's going to be killed without rhyme or reason. All they think of me is the reincarnation, or think of me as is the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama and the leader of the Furude family. They do cherish me, but they won't protect me with their lives. On the other hand, Irie and his people are totally different. They realize how special I am, and they would try to make sure that nothing happens to me. If I confessed to them that my life was in danger, I'm sure they would do their best to prevent it. They have all the means to protect me from a violent end. Maybe that's our group right there. But I don't know if I can really call Irie the antagonist here, or one of. However, none of it really worked in the past. It's not that they're unreliable. It's because Takano, the one responsible for protecting me, also gets killed on the same day every time. In other words, asking for help is completely useless. She's very reliable, but she also isn't. It's ironic that I'm the only one who knows the reason why they can never save me.
それが狙いなのかしら。富武と高野を殺し、私を守る者を排除して、それから殺す。 確かに高野たちの死はリカの死と密接に関係する先触れなのです。
同じ運命なら、いや、同じ犯人が同じ目的でやっている犯行なら、あの二人の死をなんとか覆すことで、私の運命もまた覆せるんじゃないかしら。
リカは多分覚えていませんですが、ずいぶん前にもそう言って実行したことがありましたです。
The deaths of Takano and Tomatake mean the loss of my protection. Because the two of them die, the suspect is able to kill me. That's why I've tried to prevent their deaths somehow. But they never believed me. I tried so hard to persuade them, but they didn't listen. I eventually gave up and just thought of their deaths as fated to happen. It's the same hopeless feeling I used to have toward my parents when I was able to go farther back in time. When I found out that death was inevitable, I lost interest in them. After all that time had passed, I forgot how hard I used to try to prevent my parents' deaths.
それにリカはイリエたちのことは嫌ってると思いましたです。
まあね、連中は明らかに私たちをモルモットだと思ってるし。
I support them so I can help Sudako, but it disgusts me to think that they're only using me as a test subject. I've been resenting Irie for that reason. Still, I should try to get closer to him. After all, he's the only reason, or the only person who understands how important I am. He's the main person I should be talking to, and he has the most potential for protecting me. I can't avoid seeking help from him just because I don't like him. I've asked him for help several times before, but Tomatake and Takano get murdered even so, and it ruins everything. After their deaths, Irie panics and becomes useless. That's why I gave up on seeking help from him. But in this world, I've been blessed with a positive situation. I will never have as lucky a start as this again. This is the best chance I'll ever get, so I should give it my best shot. I really don't like him at all. But he's not a bad person. I should respect him more. He's serious about helping Sudako, and he's not as much of a mad scientist as I'm inclined to think. Takano is a strange person too, but she's also someone who can give me support. But she thinks I'm only her guinea pig, and that's why I don't really want her help. Tomatake is more reliable than Takano, but the biggest problem is that he only visits the village a few times a year. On top of that, he always dies before I get killed, so he can never help me. However, they really are the people I should be talking to. If I can change the fate of their deaths, they should be able to save me from my own. It's possible that the only reason I lived until 1983 was because of their effort.
高野たちに接触して彼らを救えるようまた努力してみようと思うの。あ、大丈夫よ。どうせ殺されると思ってるから変に期待してない。だから期待を裏切られても全然平気よ。
リカがひどいことを言ってますのです。
So I wonder if Irie is actually committing suicide of his, not being forced to do so. He's doing it himself because the pressure weighs down on him. Tomatake is someone that I'm sure he knows, and Takano, his assistant, his nurse, both dead. It's kind of creeping up towards him is maybe what he's thinking. So he thinks he needs to rush on out of here. He's tired of this. So maybe his group, the doctors as we'll call them, aren't the enemy. Maybe they're just another group of people that aren't the hardcore villagers that worship Oyashiro and respect Rika, but they don't protect her. And neither will the doctors necessarily. Unless, and I guess that's kind of where we're heading. So who's our antagonist group? I want to say it is a group of people, but I could be wrong. I chuckled at her comment.
もし死の運命から逃れられれば、私の運命に対して大きな影響を与えてくれるのは間違いない。そして今回は それでも2人が殺されるのを前提に話をしてみようと思うの。つまり2人が殺された後、私にも及ぶだろう危害への警護についてちゃんとそういう指示を出してくれれば、高野たちの死後も私の身辺は強固に警備されているかもしれない。
The protection they provide is probably the highest standard of security I could hope for, yet I lose that the moment Tomitake and Takano die. So I never have the protection after Watanagashi, and therefore I get killed too. In other words, that's it. Whoever possesses the strong will to kill me actually just wants me dead. Yet so long as those two are alive, there's tight security all around Hinamizawa. That prevents the killer from getting to me. So to kill me, they must first kill Tomitake and Takano, the heart of that security. And then my protection falls away, leaving me exposed.
リズムで考えれば考えるほど、2人の運命と私の運命はつながっているのね。そうやって考えると、あの2人を見殺しにした時点で、私の運命は逃れられないものに決まってしまうのかもしれない。
ならリカのすべきことはもう明らかなのです。
そうね、自分の命より先にあの2人の命を救う方が先決ってことね。
It's kind of ironic. I gave up on them because I was more determined to save my own life. But I finally came to the conclusion that I have to help them first before helping myself. But there's something I still don't understand. Someone with convictions this strong is trying to kill me for some equally strong motive. Yet no matter how often I debate it, I can't think of anyone who'd benefit from my death. Not only that, but there should only be people who'd want to protect me, especially since they would do anything to protect me in the present environment. They even eliminated my mother. To be perfectly honest, I don't even care about her anymore. I never got along with her, and she's the one who took my father's death the wrong way, making a huge deal out of it like she did. She got what she deserved. Goddamn. I'm a valuable guinea pig for them. And I can be a bomb too. No one benefits from making me explode. There's only disaster awaiting them if that happens. Lots of people will be lost and nobody would gain anything from that. According to Takano, my death would be like the eruption of a volcano in the middle of the village. I'm not interested in what happens after my death, but they're really concerned about it. They're watching me every day to ensure that I don't accidentally hit my head on the corner of a block of tofu and die. It's fair to say that they are here in order to prevent the eruption from happening. I'd be suspicious of them if they were going to benefit in some way from my death. But as everyone knows, that can't possibly be the case. My death would create nothing but a disaster. They're benefiting from my being alive right now.
損得の問題ではなく、何かの怨恨かもしれないとは随分思ったわよね。私個人じゃなくて、古出家に対する恨みみたいなものが伝統的に御三家とかに残ってたりして、私が爆弾だと知らないからこそ殺したと。
I don't think we've met any characters with an actual grudge against the village, the family, or any of the three families except maybe the Sonozakis. I don't know. That's an interesting perspective that I never really thought of. That's why I was suspicious of the three families, especially the Sonozaki family. However, after observing them in numerous ways, I feel like that's not the case. I felt that way in several lives, but it always had something to do with that incident with Keiichi and the doll. It's clear that there's nothing going on between the Sonozaki family and mine.
あとは盲信的な何者かなのです。
If it's not about profit or a grudge, it might be someone who's secretly a deranged cultist. I wonder if it's somebody we haven't met. Maybe that's the direction that the story's going in. It's somebody that we can't really guess, but we can guess what they're like. We've already had a series of murders 4 years in a row under the name of Yashiro-sama's curse. Timing-wise, it would somewhat It would be somewhat interesting if I, the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, were killed on the 5th year. That translation was not right. I couldn't stand to be murdered for such a whimsical reason, but such a motive actually seemed fitting. Ironically, I would have to suspect Takano if that's the case. Oh, way ahead of you. She's well known for being an eccentric researcher of local histories. She's only interested in the village's history because she already knows who I am. She's doing the research based on the notion that I'm important, so she should have no reason to kill me. She would desire to keep me close to her as a research sample. It's hard to believe that she could kill her favorite toy. She might be willing to kill someone who would try to harm her little toy, though.
まあ、いくら考えてもわからないし、どうでもいいことかもしれないわね。
Same here.
誰かが私を必ず殺す。その事実から逃れられれば、他はとりあえずどうでもいいんだから。
No, I take that back. I want to escape my deadly fate, but I also want all of my friends to be happy. And I want the rest of my life to be happy too. I don't want to hide myself in the forest forever just to get away from my murderer. In fact, I've tried that once before, but I still met with the same ending. Really? Oh my gosh. Living in the forest was a horrible experience. I think I was able to survive until July that time. That might be the longest I ever lived. I smiled bitterly and finished off the rest of the orange wine in the glass. What if we, just left? Tried to get out of Japan even? Would we still just be followed, tracked down, no matter what? I'd have to talk to Irie again. I don't like him, but his people are my only hope.
もういい時間ね。どこに戻らないと。
The
明
thing
日が
is,
辛いわ。
what's very interesting here is that even if we were, set to be trapped in somewhere, like in the clinic, like a secret room or something, I don't know. I guess the antagonist has the means to wipe out the whole fucking village, so I'm starting to wonder if we really have the means of actual personal security here. I don't know.
僕もそう思いますです。おやすみなさいなのですよ。
I lay down and closed my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep right away. Suddenly I remembered Rena's words out of nowhere. It was no good when I was thinking about it on my own. I wasn't thinking about it on my own. I was talking it out with Hanyu. Now I know. It's important to talk to other people. Friends have greater meaning than I thought. You can talk to them about anything. I finally realized that. After I asked Takano for help, should I also talk to Keiichi? I've told him before in my previous lives, but he never believed me then. Well, I think there's more of a likeliness for him to believe you now that you've started to demonstrate a little bit more of your predictions. I'm not really sure. Things seem to be pointing in an interesting direction here regardless. The two of us. Alright, we'll read this tip and then we'll save the game. And wrap up this one. Who Done It? That's the name of the achievement, and of course, it's a wine bottle. Alrighty, the two of us. Rika Furude always thought that there were 4 members in her family. She could clearly see all of us, her father, her mother, and me. She had no idea that I was invisible to anyone else but her. My appearance is a little different from human beings. I may otherwise look like a person, but I can't hide my horns. I'm glad we're finally addressing that one. So it's obvious that I'm not human. I'd hope that because Rika has seen me since she was a baby, she wouldn't be bothered by my ugly horns at all. And that hope came true. Just as chicks believe whatever they see first is their parent, Rika accepted me as part of her family as a matter of course, even though I have these horns. Rika and I have been close ever since the day she accepted me as her family member. I became closer to her than her parents. I couldn't even remember the last time I was able to communicate with someone. We spent all day together. But her family, especially her mother, denied my existence. Since her mother so strongly denied me, Rika and her mother became distant. Rika didn't learn certain things that many children learn from their mothers, and that's why I taught her instead. It's kind of ironic how that made her mother resent Rika even more. Oh yeah, you know what? There was a tip like this in either chapter 4 or 5. Yeah. Rika used to fight with her mother a lot about how she talked. I guess she picked up on some bad habits from me. Besides the fact that she didn't get along with her mother, Rika was a pretty normal girl. She was just like Sudoko. She loved running around in the woods and doing mischievous things. However, in June 1983, Rika's life was taken. All we want is a happy life for Rika. My power only allows us to search for the path leading to that. It's awful to repeat the same tragedy over and over again. Although it's devastating, we can still find happiness with this endless world. Rika Furude's destiny is a tragic end, a tragic dead end. But I'm secretly enjoying the fact that I get to spend more time with her than what normal people can enjoy. It's not just Rika. They may not see or hear me, but being with Sudoko, Mion, Rena, and Keiichi is also very fun. I can never be one of them, but I can still be by their side. Yeah, again, most likely the footsteps that they were hearing at various times, or just whatever noises, was probably just fucking Hanyu. Let's be real here. But you know, being all scared of Oyashiro-sama's curse, they probably thought it was something totally different.
いやあ、リカちゃんが日曜日以外に診療所にいらっしゃるなんて珍しいですね。
Well, goddamn, guys, the next episode's gonna be a real kicker based on what we're planning here. It kind of stings to have to end it here because it really is interesting where things can go here. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Feel like sitting down and just kind of thinking things over, especially with the characters, just kind of going over some facts and things that happened that wasn't presented to us, but like we don't have to assume. They'll just flat out state what has happened. Totally cool with me, and I think it's helpful in trying to figure out where we can go from here. What should we do? What can we do? What should we know? What do we need to find out? It's a fun time in my opinion. But thank you again, guys, for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. I'm a little out of breath. I don't know why, but probably gonna have to start recording these later in the day. It's already getting so damn hot. It's so hot, and it's only in the middle of May. So, yeah, fuck the nighttime recording sessions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.